They added more.
I didn't.
Last week, I was like,
Okay, I would like to call to order the Village of Lansing Planning Board meeting for Monday, November 13th, 2023, to order at 7:03 PM. Including myself, remember to silence your cell phones if you need to. First item on the agenda is the approval of minutes for October 9th, 2023. Mike made the changes.
I only Pat had a few, and he
had one.
said a change on one of the appendix calculations.
Oh, I guess I should add too that Lorraine is online because she's not feeling well, but she is a full voting member tonight, so.
Okay.
And Yamila is here too as the alternate. Sorry, so if there aren't any other changes, I'll entertain a motion to approve the October 9th, 2023 minutes.
I move we approve.
Motion by Pat,
Second?
second by Lisa, all in favor?
Aye.
Okay, next item on the agenda is the public comment period. This is an opportunity for anyone from the public to comment on something that isn't already on the agenda for this evening.
Susan Ainsley, covering for the Board of Trustees.
Basically.
Hi.
Hi, I'm Carla Marso. I'm here as an observer for the community party.
Hey, Carla. Hearing no other comments, I'll entertain a motion to close the public comment period.
I move that we close the public comment period.
I will second.
Motion by Lisa, second by Jim, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
And Lorraine's an aye. Okay. Next item on the agenda is to continue the public hearing for the final plat of cluster subdivision proposal number 2021-4464 by Beer Properties LLC. Beer Properties LLC and Hunt Engineers are providing a final plat of cluster subdivision for property parcel number 45.2-1-47.2, which consists of approximately 40 acres of vacant land located between Craft Road and Bush Lane. The final plat, along with the details of proposed duplex lots, will be reviewed by the planning board. You want to let us know the progress from the last meeting to this meeting? I know there's been some.
There was some minor changes that Dondi and John had, mainly Dondi. Got them over to Tim Steed. Tim got them back to us. David provided you 11 by 17 and a large 3 by 4 final proposal for the site plan. And that's kind of where we're at. And Natalie and Ray have been working on conditions for a resolution.
yeah, John and Dondi took a look at the conditions for the resolution. Very minor changes were made. I think I sent those to you in final.
Yep.
To be approved.
Yeah, and then we did get an email, Natalie and I got an email from John Courtney that he recommends that you accept the plat as is.
Okay.
They reviewed it and everything seems fine to them.
So I know there's one item, but before that, is there anything else then outstanding that we're kind of waiting for, or is that everything that we needed? Lisa?
I just had some questions about this that I should have paid attention to before, but it's not going to change anything, but I just wanted to understand something about, one of the things is under site data, it says the total site area is 41.19 acres. And then it says total lot area proposed, and it's slightly different. Why are there discrepancies like that?
You have to take the developable land. You have the total site. If I'm looking, I don't have my glasses, but if you have it.
But the total site is less than the lot area proposed, which
The lot area proposed is 14.22 acres,
versus
41.19.
14. Oh, geez, you know what? Transpose.
Okay,
Easy answer then.
There you go.
the math is
A
right.
little dyslexic, would you say? Isn't it amazing? I made it through college. Okay, and then the other thing is, well, now I'm afraid to ask anything. It says the minimum lot size proposed, but it's proposed, is 14,000 square feet, but we know that we lowered some of them to less than that, and then, of course, the townhouse ones are less than that. So, it doesn't matter, but why does it say that? I just am wondering.
Well, we will,
I'm just, because I remember when we said, oh, no, we don't care the size really so much, we want it to be fit, but but I just didn't know why the plan says that. Does it matter?
I mean,
Philippines, actually, when all
lot
said.
sizes, I guess to answer that, each lot size has its own square footage.
Right, but.
That's what's really-
But the
And that's what you're
proposed
approving.
minimum is 14,000, and there's a bunch of them less than that.
We can always make that change if that's.
I mean, I just,
I didn't notice that, we could do more.
Can I weigh in on that?
please do, because I just didn't, I'm embarrassed that I never looked at this before, frankly, but,
No, and I think that's the, I think what you're referring to as a townhouse, and those are two adjacent lots with 0 setback. The smallest single lot is 14,000 square feet. The townhouses,
it's these two.
those are,
Oh,
those are,
25.
Number 25.
yes. Oh, I'm sorry, 20, yeah, you're correct.
25 is a little less.
Yes, you are correct. And I think that may have changed once the loop road and the grading
Oh,
slightly
okay.
changed there at the intersection.
Well,
But the
like I said,
townhouses, those are essentially,
No, it is very technical, but I think because the square footage is listed on the plat in each specific
It's
lot,
fine.
then I would say it's fine.
Okay, I just thought, I've never really questioned any of this in the past.
Yeah.
And I hate to bring it up at this point, but I thought, how come?
you know,
Okay,
we could list it as 13,978.
I
I mean, you
don't
could do
care.
a condition upon that, and then I could list the townhouse lots individually and not
No.
necessarily.
I don't think
confuse
it's necessary to make,
If it's gotta change, we can change that, it doesn't matter. The plat itself.
Plat
is the
itself,
plat.
right, that's just.
I don't want extra cost for
Make sure.
plans or anything. I'm just, now that I understand this, I just
I've gotta
thought,
go over it with Tim, like real close or something like that, or.
Okay.
Something, we'll get that straight, but.
okay, so, but I think to Natalie's point, it's true. If each individual one weren't listed,
Yeah.
it might be questioned, but
Yeah.
in this case, it's clear what we want and what was approved. Okay, but I just thought, how come? All right, so that was just an oversight as things changed. All right,
And also, if you look at it, Lisa, you're not going to be able to add any more lots at this point to the whole
no,
process.
I know, I understand. Oh my God, that's crazy, 41 and 14.
This is an easy answer.
Do you have other questions, Lisa, or is that?
No, that's it. Isn't that enough?
I just wanted to clear up something that came up when I was speaking to Ray today, that there was mention that there's a restriction in David's deeds that references the Millcroft subdivision. And in looking at the Millcroft subdivision, which was phased in phase 1 and phase 2 being this parcel that is now being developed, the final plat that was recorded for that subdivision has a note on it that only phase 1 of the subdivision has received final approval of the Village of Lansing Planning Board, and only building permits for those lots may be approved. In such event, the signing of the final plat by the chairperson of the Village of Planning Board and filing thereof shall not be deemed to constitute or evidence the approval of phase 2. And in speaking with Mike Scott, he was of the belief that phase 2 only ever reached a preliminary piece. So I do not believe the conditions and restrictions recorded as they regard the Millcraft subdivision apply to this portion of property.
Can I just, I mean, the property is assessed with those lots existing now. So I just find it curious that the tax assessor doesn't think that, thinks that the old Millcroft subdivision is, kind of.
Well, it's never recorded, so I find that odd.
I confirmed it with Marty Mosley also, that it had never reached final, was never signed off on by the planning board.
Okay.
That it was, the way Marty explained it, and I talked to him after I talked to you, the way he explained it was, they were going to proceed with a proposal of phase 2, and that the actual view of the site plan was what was okay, but it was never signed and never
Registered.
And never registered, yeah.
Somehow the assessment office, acted on it. That's neither here nor there.
Yeah.
Who wants to say something?
Right.
Ray?
Can you hear us now, Ray?
I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Yes, go ahead.
Great. No, excuse me. My thought was either in the resolution itself or just spread on the minutes that it is very clear any approval this evening would supersede and rescind any prior subdivision or plat approvals for subdivision for this property. Just some very clear statements so that after we all die, there's never confusion about this going forward.
Okay,
Okay, that's something we could put in the.
I think the board can just agree with Ray's recitation.
Yeah, I think
And we can
that's
put
fine.
that in the minutes.
good. Yep,
I'll make sure that's stated.
Okay.
Thank you.
So one thing did come to light, unfortunately, when the resolution was getting prepared. We always insert, a whole bunch of dates, when we've discussed this, when certain things have been approved, specifically the seeker. And when Natalie and Mike were getting the resolution ready, they couldn't find anywhere that we've ever done a seeker, which I know we usually do them very early, even for projects that have been in the works for a long time, they can't find one anywhere.
From what I looked at, David, was in 2018, when you came in for a PDA, one of the requirements was to have a full EAF submitted to the Board of Trustees.
that's how it got confused.
I can't put my hands on that, don't know where that is. Right now, I'm building this up, there's no big thing at the end here. So what I was looking for after that was whether you had turned in, for a cluster subdivision, all you would need would be a short EAF. And I have not been able to find where you gave that to us, or I asked you for it, or anything like that. So what we're trying to figure out here now is, how we can resolve this, whether you can get us a short EAF, or whether we put it in a resolution, or whether we just take care of it. But we don't want to hold up the process of what you need, whether it's going to the bank or whatnot. What actually do you need from the planning board for you to start moving on?
I need something that's very concrete, that the village approves this plat, and it's not subject to any changes.
I think,
Okay,
so
Yeah.
my proposal would be tonight, we approve the plat, we acknowledge the conditions will be approved at the next meeting, you will submit a short EAF, we will open and close that short EAF public hearing at the next meeting, and we will pass the resolution at the next meeting. But as far as concrete, plat is done, no changes to be made, conditions are what was circulated to Ray on Friday, no changes will be made there. And we can put that in the minutes, I can write
If you need us to
email,
write something
a
up,
letter
and I can
to
sign.
somebody
Yeah.
stating all that.
Okay, well, it's, maybe I should defer to Ray.
Yeah, Ray had his hand up anyway. Go ahead, Ray.
Yeah, no, I think that would probably work. When is the next meeting?
The 28th of November.
All right.
And we will
Let's-
do
let's
everything
put-
in one fell swoop there. Anything that we typically, take 2 meetings to do, we will do it in that one meeting, both the review of the EAF, and I think everyone's very familiar with the property over there. I don't, running through the questions that that we normally, go over, it should be a pretty, and then we'll already have the resolution drafted and have that information incorporated in there.
When
Yeah, go ahead, Ray.
when would you need the short EAF?
As soon as possible, for me to review. If you can get it to me this week, that's great. I'll review it,
Okay,
send it on to the planning board, and then we'll go over it the next meeting.
okay, we'll do that. We'll get it
I
done.
can work on pulling that around with you, Ray. I did look in our files. We do have a long form completed dated November of 2020 in our files, so I'm presuming it was passed on somewhere in and around
I-
there.
Would it be a
I
long form
feel
though?
as though something's wrong.
From 2020, I
I
don't
wish
even
I'd
have that as
known
a
because
date
I have so much
that this was
stuff.
reviewed. So I have that the preliminary plat was opened October 29th, 2019, approved November 11th, 2019, and this did not come back up until March 30th of 2021,
So all of the past stuff had to do with the PDA request?
potentially.
Oh,
I mean, this,
Obviously, the information's gonna be pretty much the same, it's just.
there's really
the
no,
Short form.
there's no reason to make this a huge issue. I mean,
No,
Tim, can you give me a short EAF?
Yeah, I could send that to you tomorrow. I'll review it I'll send it on to Ray and David and can forward it on.
Okay.
Sounds good. Well, you'll get it right away.
Now, is there something we should be doing to the actual, this plat? So like a lot of times we've had this before, Lisa, happened to us that either David signed the bottom of that this is the one we approved, and then have Mike sign the bottom of this is the one we approved, and I just keep that, okay? So we don't have a bunch of copies all over. We just have one copy, so that's the one we approved.
that's right.
Shall we do that? Is that okay?
Yeah.
Okay. You good with that, Ray?
Yes, that's perfectly fine. Just give me a copy of the signatures.
Okay,
I'm happy.
me too.
You're always happy, Natalie.
I wouldn't say that.
so is there anything else that we need to, we're good, we can sign anything we need to sign?
Do we close this public hearing?
I say we close the public hearing.
Okay, so is there anything else that we have to do before we close the public hearing? I'm just curious if there was anything. General, okay, nothing, we can do that.
We'll do all that.
We'll do all that next time, okay.
Next time.
Okay, then I will entertain a motion to close the public hearing for final plat of cluster subdivision 2021-4464.
I move that we close the public hearing for that proposal.
Motion by Lisa,
A second?
second by Pat, all in favor?
Aye.
And Emil is an aye too. Okay,
So Natalie, we have to open another public hearing next.
For the
For the
seeker,
for the seeker, yeah.
open and close, and then you can just vote on the resolution.
Okay, I'll take care of all that.
Okay, so next meeting is the final,
The
final. Oh my gosh, what a Christmas present, huh?
For a little while until
For a little while.
it takes the next step and then signs the plat.
Oh, glutton for punishment.
Okay. Yeah, sorry that
Now
that
we're on a
somehow,
62-day time.
that's usually something that we do, and I mean, we've been doing it for years, we always do those pretty upfront, so I don't know
Yeah.
how it, advantage the seeker, yeah.
We used to do a secret regardless of.
Right, yeah,
For every single thing, and I'm sitting here thinking, I was the chair.
Yeah, you were. No,
Very
it's-
embarrassing.
There was some, I mean, we must not have done it, but there was something recently where we just did the seeker to get it done, even though we weren't going to vote on the main matter.
I mean,
What was that?
sometimes in the past, what we did is we always requested a secret, we just did a secret, whether we needed it or whether it was a type, whatever, 1 or 2, it didn't matter, we always did a secret, just because stuff like this happens.
Yeah.
And maybe we need to get back to that again. I mean, the short one is really not very
Yeah,
hard.
it is very short.
We always do one. A lot of this has to do, like I said, I'll take responsibility. A lot of this has to do with the longevity of this experience.
I guess,
So-
yeah, and the fact that the PDA was first, and,
So it'll get
It'll be
taken
done.
care of.
but like I said, maybe it isn't a bad practice to just always, even if you don't need one, just because then you know it's done.
So if you would, David, before you leave, we'll have you sign the big one, and then we'll have Mike sign it, and we'll get a copy of it and get it over to Ray and you and that kind of stuff.
So do we have to move that we accept the final plat or anything? No,
I think it's in the minutes.
okay.
Yep. Okay.
Oh my God.
I
All right,
wonder,
thank you.
thank you.
Thank you.
Quick question, I wonder if we did a seeker before, did we do it maybe for when the Quonset hut was built there?
We had a secret for the Kwanzaa.
We
So
did, no, I know,
maybe-
and so
okay.
maybe we just, but this is driving me crazy, and you know it's gonna happen, so I'm gonna have to go home.
You're gonna dig through
and start,
everything, yeah. I have all my stuff.
I mean, I looked at all the
Oh.
minutes from 2019 to get all the dates that we talked about this, and I did not see the seeker.
I'm sure we mustn't have done it.
Hey, the objective is to get it right, we'll get it right.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, I was thinking, I'm gonna waste.
Well, again, sorry, David, but we'll get it done between now and the next meeting. And like I said, if you want to come up and sign that, I'll take care of signing it after the meeting.
Oh my gosh, get a
like
picture, get a picture.
Music playing.
Eye of the Tiger or something?
Save that pen.
I know, exactly.
Put it in a little case.
A little glass case, exactly. Yep. And I'll sign that afterwards, David, and then Mike will be in touch with you.
Thank you for being understanding.
Okay.
Appreciate it.
Yeah, and I'll
Thank you.
See you next time.
David, I'll be in contact with you, and we'll just go over what the next steps are. So we're on the same page.
Thank you.
Okay, next item on the agenda is to continue the public hearing for requested amendment to special permit number 2021-4516. Eric Etzman has requested an amendment to the conditions of the approved resolution for special permit number 2021-4516. Planning board has determined the request to be a major change, therefore requiring a public hearing. Eric can't be here tonight, he's out of town, so as opposed to us sitting here and batting this, around all meeting, I think maybe definitely me and Natalie and Mike will have a meeting in between now and the next meeting, at which point Eric will presumably be here, and maybe come up with some talking points or some recommendations or just some things for us to discuss while Eric's here, if people are okay with that.
Yeah, that's fine. The only question I might have is at the next meeting, because this is a fairly big issue, we may only have 3 voting members.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, I will be here, Pat will be here, Lorraine will be here. Yamila says she just raised her hand, she'll be here, so, and if you're not here and you can join in, even if you're a public member, not a voting member, you can still speak, definitely.
right, speak,
So,
but I was just
so you're-
thinking in terms of the size of the body that would vote on such a thing.
Yeah.
I think it's better to have either a full complement
Yeah, and
or almost full
And
complement.
I don't know if we'll vote on anything next time anyway, especially if the next meeting is, the meeting where we actually have some topics to talk about, and he's here, I would suspect it would be the first meeting, and, well, the only meeting in December that we potentially would vote on something.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, I just think it's best if he would be here.
Yeah. At the same time, though, I don't want to just wait, so, I think.
Yeah.
Well, I think I'd like to finish this before the year is
Yes.
out.
Yes.
Yep. Yeah.
Are you going to be here for the December meeting?
Yes.
Yeah, so.
Okay, yeah. And I think that's the most likely, and if that's what people want, we'll just do that.
I think that makes sense. We could have a discussion, but hopefully he will have the courtesy to come.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's important.
Yeah. We can reach out to him and.
We can?
I don't know, sure, let's send an email. I don't know,
Let me do
it
it.
sounds like something you'd see in like West Wing or something. Your presence is formally requested, yeah, no.
I was saying a
Like,
great
You
invitation.
can send him an email and ask him.
He said he'd be here.
Okay, okay, perfect, there you go.
Then I think we wait for
Okay.
sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think that's probably the best thing to do. Okay, next item on the agenda is the discussion of the solar array draft law. So in between the last meeting and this one, I did get some feedback from Lorraine, so thank you, Lorraine. I didn't get any feedback from anybody else, so if you have some either written or in print, let me know.
In addition to what we'd already discussed.
Yeah, but so the other thing that I did is, I know at the last meeting, there was some discussion about, kind of where we started with the draft law, and then where we are now. So I did go back through just to make sure there weren't some things that had inadvertently got dropped off, and I reviewed some of the meeting minutes, and I have affirmed that I still hate hearing myself talk in video recording, much like other people. So, but I from what I found so far, we've talked about it a lot. I haven't gone through all of them, but I did take some time, since we had the kind of break between the last meeting and this one, to go back through, review some of the minutes, the video recordings, take a look at the revisions that were bounced back and forth, okay, here's the last one, here's the next one, and make sure that nothing else got inadvertently left out. So I have some more to do, but I will I'll get those done. But if you do have any edits, send them to me. Print them off, however you want to get them to me. If you want me to meet with you, we can do that. But short of that, I can send out a fresh copy.
Is it the draft of 9:15
Yes.
still the
Yep,
one?
I think, is that one labeled? I'll take a look.
I never,
Yes.
okay,
that's
so
the one.
that's the current one.
yeah.
And you had concerns that we had eliminated some stuff from the model law.
Yep.
I think in tier 3.
Yeah, and there's notes in there about that.
Okay.
In the tier 3 section,
so
yeah.
are we sort of good on that at this point?
Well, I didn't commit any of those in there yet, because I
okay.
wanted people to review, and then we can have that kind of,
Okay,
take a look at the comments that are in there. Some are from me, some are from Natalie. And if you want, I can add Lorraine's in there and send out another copy, or if you want to work, the ones that Lorraine sent out, there wasn't, it wasn't a ton of changes. It wasn't some huge overhaul. So if you want to keep working on that one, just to make it clean,
right.
and yeah. But yeah, other than that, I think, hopefully we've got 2 more meetings this year where we can discuss it, and it would be really nice to be able to pass something along to the trustees. And I'm sure that, I would imagine, I mean, this is pretty robust compared to the tree lot, and there was, we had some back and forth with questions and changes, so I imagine there'll be some of that, but I would at least like to, think that in the next 2 meetings, if people can take some time in between now and the next meeting, especially to just review the comments, we can get something to the trustees, hopefully.
and were we all set with the permit application?
Get where we're at with that.
I know, I don't, I'm waiting at home.
I think so.
I think so, right?
I actually had a question on the permit application.
Yeah.
And it's a really small thing. In the first section, yes, no, or NA. Number 2 is if the property is subject to review by an architectural or historical review board, that approval's been granted by the board. Do we have a historical review board or an architectural review board?
Mike's a history buff. No? Okay.
Boy,
About World War II.
is there an NA box?
There is an NA.
Under what, yeah, there is an NA.
So I'll just click NA, who knows?
Right,
we might have-
but if we don't have a historic review board or an architectural review board, should we even have that question in there? Since we're not, using the unified solar permit.
I mean, I would imagine if something came up that needed something like that, we would engage.
The seeker does have.
It has a question
stuff
on there.
that. So maybe.
We would have to engage somebody else, an expert to do something like that.
I mean, if a seeker, so if they had to do a seeker for some reason, like, let's say it's a very large scale thing, we might have to have, and then they found arrowheads or bones or something, then what? So maybe, I don't know.
But we don't have a board with protocols in which we would refer something like that to. I
So
believe.
it's just an NA.
Or just omit it if it will always be an NA. I believe that's the point.
Yeah, well,
How does that, so if there is, something found during the seeker process, where does that go?
yeah,
That's a good question.
Is that,
that's
so
what
that
I'm
goes
saying.
to,
Well, that's what I'm saying.
does the state get involved somehow, or the county, or?
We don't have, the only thing we have at this point in the village it's an issue is we have a small cemetery over here, which comes up.
There's one right across the street from my house, what are you talking
And
about?
then the one that's on the one that's on the level over there.
Yeah.
That's the only time we've ever come up with something that the state has come back and said, hey, look, you can't do it within this distance of
Okay.
this. Every time we've had anything that's archaeological, it's always come back nothing here in the village. So I'm not even sure it would ever happen.
But this is architectural, actually, and historical, so we don't have anything old enough.
No.
Yeah, I was gonna say that.
We don't have like.
We don't have a historical
we don't have
district here or anything,
Or
yeah.
anything like that,
Right.
like Ithaca does.
So I'm fine just taking it off of there then, yeah.
Just
Or-
delete.
Yeah, or if we think that this permit will be on the books for the next, 80 years and something might get
Yeah,
By then, we'll have
yeah.
some historical buildings.
At that point, we probably won't care.
No,
I don't think
I don't
I
think I will.
80 years.
The historical buildings already have solar panels all over them, so.
Hysterical buildings.
Okay,
Okay.
good
So,
catch.
So
delete,
we'll just delete it off there. Can you do that, Beth?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's actually a good question, you know, if we
If something did
find
come
out
back.
anything in the village, if I check that out for the full village, do an EAF mapper for the whole village, if anything
that?
would come
How
back.
have you not done that yet?
You haven't done that yet? Can you do it? Can you- In the EAF, you can do a whole area? It's not like a specific like tax
Is it
parcel or
just a
something?
computer program?
Yeah, there's a map,
Yeah.
but every time I do it, it's a small section, you don't do the whole.
Yeah, the whole thing. Yeah,
the
just,
whole
you're
thing.
interested in this lot,
Huh?
just for fun? Funski, so, yeah, just for
but
fun.
actually, it is sort of,
There's no fun in code enforcement.
He's been doing, water, stormwater lately for fun, so, yeah.
There's some fun in stormwater, there is fun in that.
Okay,
so was it, okay, after all of that, did we still decide to keep it out?
let's take it out of there,
Yes.
yeah.
Okay,
Okay. And if it comes up, we'll figure out, anywhere for anything really in the future. I think there's enough other checks and balances between seeker and things like that where, it's not like, well, sorry, it wasn't in your solar permit, so we decided to call it solar permit
yeah,
application.
well, there's
so-
other ways for
Yeah.
us to
Yep.
say no,
Yeah.
or
Okay.
put conditions on it, right? So we're okay.
Trustee report.
Uh-oh, we're all sitting here looking at
That
one.
would be me.
Yay.
Oh, phew.
And you have both of them, Lorraine, or was there was two, right?
No, there will be two. There
Okay.
was only one so far this month.
Oh,
The
okay.
next one is next week. All right. So they had quite a few items on the agenda. So the first thing was, and sorry about my voice, the first thing is delinquent taxes. There were 28 properties who have not paid their taxes, so the delinquent taxes in the amount of $44,883 will be paid to Tompkins County by the village. The second thing on the agenda was for to authorize the mayor to sign an amended municipal cooperative agreement. So they agreed to and signed, Ronnie signed the resolution to approve and future amendments to the municipal cooperative agreement. They also considered the proclamation honoring Veterans Week, November 5th through 11th. They received the proclamation really late. So the board did pass the observance of operation. It's called Operation Greenlight. The Village of Lansing Board of Trustees will encourage its residents to display a green light in a public facing entry or window of their place of business or residence during Veterans Week. Residents are called upon to switch at least one public facing light bulb to green to show visible support for our veterans. So they received the proclamation really late, so there was no time really to promote this through the village, of course, maybe next year. The next thing was consider having an NYSERDA related presentation hosted by our village. So they did vote to allow a clean energy campaign representative and an environmental support services to use the village's conference room for the presentation taking place on November 15th from 7 to 8:30. They did make it clear that the village does not endorse the services. They're just approving them to use the conference room. The village is asking for a $5,000 grant from NYSERDA to assist with financing future clean energy projects. The discussion took place and edits were made to the draft letter. The mayor's comments, Ronnie told everybody to go vote. That was the night before voting. And then they had a couple things under the general discussion. Carolyn gave an update on a trail project that she's working on with the town. And Susan gave an update on youth services.
Okay. Thanks, Lorraine.
Yep.
Okay.
Who's the next,
So Lorraine has this month, in December. I'll take,
am I, maybe?
let's see. While I look this up, we can move on to other business. Jim?
I don't have anything for other business.
Pat?
I got nothing.
Lorraine?
You,
Did you?
I think, did you say nothing, Lorraine?
Oh, sorry, yeah.
Okay.
But I did hear one thing, actually, I should tell you guys, in case you haven't heard it. Someone I know that's, her property is sort of in the town of Ithaca, over on Hanshaw. Apparently that property that Cornell sold to a developer who's gonna put in something back there in the Sapsucker Woods area off of Brentwood. Apparently they're gonna put in affordable housing back there. So the Hanshaw Road residents are in an uproar.
Life goes on.
That's in the town? Or
It's considered the town of Ithaca, I guess, back there.
Yeah, it is. I'm pretty sure.
So anyway, I heard that people that live along the Hanshaw Road area are very upset.
Are you talking about the one that's at the end of Brentwood, that one we've been talking about, or is this someplace different?
No, I think it's the one at the end of Brentwood over there. It's sort of the Sapsucker Woods that Cornell owned that property.
Yes.
Yeah, so apparently it's gonna be.
It is in the town, yes.
Yeah.
Okay. Lisa?
I've been thinking about the PDA that that's under consideration. And I realized that I don't feel I have a good, clear understanding of how many rental units we currently have in our village. And I know that when I worked on the comprehensive plan, that, we have a lot, it's either a third or two-thirds, how many units? But at any rate, I was wondering if there is one place where I can go to find out. For example, I went through in my mind about the apartment complexes that I'm aware of. And I think I wasn't sure actually about a couple. So we have East Point, we have Northwoods, then we have Gaslight Village and University Park on Uptown. Then
Those townhouses, but right next to them.
Lisa, there's also Uptown Village that's behind University Park.
Lisa, I can get you all that information.
I was gonna say, do you have all of that? What is the complex that's down here on Graham Road, the one that is affordable housing already, I think? Sort as close as we come in the village.
134 Graham, what's that called, Mike?
It's 134, what is it called?
Used to be Covered Bridge, but
It's not covered.
Yeah, then it's something else now.
And I did drive-bys on all these, trying to get the names.
I have everything by address.
I know, but there's, but the fact is, like, I always think of Savannah Park, but Savannah is,
Heights Apartment.
it is University Heights.
That's what it says.
As opposed to University Park, because I thought it was University.
University Heights is.
And
what
then I
Google
thought, well, I
says.
must have it wrong, because the one at Uptown 87 is University Park. So it's University Heights, okay.
and then there's one next to it.
Lisa, I'll do that.
That's Meadows.
I'll give you my list, because they have to have operating, you get them all listed.
And do we also have any information about, like, 1, 2, and 3 bedrooms, or any of that, and percentage of occupied? Or is that something?
Percentage of occupied might be a little more difficult for me to get a hold of.
So is that something we could call and just ask? Do you think they'll give us that information if I say I'm with the planning board?
You talking about calling each facility and asking?
Yeah, there's only about 10. It's not like it's horribly arduous.
The worst they could say is no.
No.
That's right.
You want me to make that call? If you guys want me to do that, I can.
Well, I don't want you to bother yet, but I just thought I would like to have that information, how many units we already have here. And could I ask, so over on Northwoods, and Northwoods, whatever, or it's 700 Warren is what but you go down there and you get past the Northwoods things, and what's Yardley Green?
Townhouses.
Are those rental, though?
Yeah, they are.
I think they are, yeah.
And I can't think of the guy's name that owns them, yeah.
Kensington Homes, the thing that's funny, so I was looking at the voter registration list that I have had access to in the past, and the address is Yardley Green, and yet you drive down there, and you don't find a Yardley Green, you find the Strand, and then you see a sign that says Kensington Homes.
Yeah, the Strand
And
is
it's like-
single-family home, right?
Kensington
The Strand is the development, is the actual development itself
of Kensington Homes.
of the Kensington. The Strand is the whole development, and then you have separate development within that.
Okay, but where's
Isn't there
Yardley
a
Green
street
then?
called the Strand?
That part is, but they call the whole unit the Strand,
Okay.
and then each one is.
So Kensington Homes is the Strand development.
Mhm.
What's Yardley Green?
There's a small section.
There is
a
so,
small section of road that's called Yardley.
yeah, so you take a right, the first, so as you're coming down, you passed all the stuff on Northwoods.
Yeah,
The first right is Yardley Green.
oh, there, I must have missed it.
And then the second one, the kind of dead end one, that's
Strand.
Coventry Walk, that's,
Oh,
yeah.
no, but the Strand is in between there.
Sure.
Coventry Walk is the end.
Oh, this, turn onto the Strand, that, apparently, I'm just looking at the map, right when you turn onto the Strand, or right, that right is the Strand, then the last part of it is Yardley Green, it's got, it
Okay,
looks
I
like
didn't
it's.
go in that
Yeah, that's what it looks like on the map,
They
is,
consider, it's always been considered the Strand is that development.
Okay,
And then you get because everything on that, every apartment on that has the address of the Yardley Green.
okay, so you have the information about the total units of
I
each of
can-
these places, yeah,
I will get with Brian and go all the information.
okay. Because I thought it might be helpful to kind of understand how many units we've already gotten. Are they all fully occupied?
Percentage of occupancy, I will try to get you that.
I know that the last time when we worked on the comprehensive plan, that Deb Dawson called them all.
The last time what?
That we worked on the comprehensive plan,
Uh-huh.
Deborah Dawson and Jody and I worked on the plan. She called all of these places, I believe.
Yeah, I'll just call my maintenance, the guy, my contact there. If I ever have an issue, I have a contact.
I was gonna say, you probably would have more leverage, but I don't want you to, you know, there's no particular rush.
it's a break from stormwater stuff.
Oh, all right.
Don't forget that lighting stuff.
Oh, yeah. In
But
between
I-
stormwater stuff and lighting stuff.
As we're deliberating some of this stuff, I thought it might be helpful to have some of this
Yeah.
information, frankly.
I will work on that.
Thank you.
Well, and I had the same question, right, as we talk about, and we, even the beers, I mean, a lot has changed since that comp plan was done, when we said, oh, we need more of,
Yeah,
pick whatever it is that we need more of. Do we still need more
well,
of?
that's my
I
question.
realize that, that's what the comp plan says, but that was, when was that version adopted?
2015.
Right, so, and we're due for a new
Already
one here soon anyway,
years old.
so I think it's a good time to start gathering that data.
I thought,
A, as we think about the PDA, and B, as we think about, the next, revision
I
of
if,
comp plan.
I'll also send you the new report for the Tompkins County Housing.
well, I was gonna say, it must be, I just have been.
I can send
lazy.
that out to everyone also. We just got that, and we actually, Carolyn and the mayor and myself, we met with them to ask any question in my home.
I just listened, yeah.
And that would probably be helpful information for everybody to take a look at. I thought some of the information in that was actually very useful.
Yeah. Do you have it that you'll send it out to everyone?
Yep, I'll send that
Okay,
out too.
Because I know, yeah, even like, and if they can tell you, I mean, I don't know if they can tell you out of their total units, what are, like, how many of them have more than 2 bedrooms? I don't even know.
They can tell you basically the health of the county is what they,
Yeah.
pretty much.
I bet some of them will be more open to just, here's everything.
Yeah, well, good, well, I'm glad to know that, because I made this little thing and I thought, oh, okay, this could be work, but some of this has got to exist already. But I think that would be how, I would appreciate having that information as we start deliberating.
Did you ask Pat?
I asked Pat, yes, he said no. Anything else, Lisa?
Nope.
Nothing?
No.
I like the whole, it's just a computer program.
I do. I would like a full EAF of the trends.
It's a computer program.
We were all waiting in suspense. Who's the trustee person for December?
Oh, yeah, sorry. We did start talking about Pat is for December.
I got this outside of January. Okay.
Nope. 'Cause
Hey,
then
Mike
January-
Scott.
Mike
Mike Scott,
What's that?
I have a question for you. Mike Scott, hey, how is the Hugo Medical coming at the mall? Are they almost done?
They have not called me for any finals yet. They've asked me a few
Sexual
technical questions about carbon dioxide and all that. I think they're getting close, but I couldn't tell you an exact date.
Well, I hope they're gonna invite us to come over for a tour, because I want to go, I want a tour.
You do.
Think
They have
they
to do a
will?
ribbon cutting or something, they usually invite, that one I might,
least in
I would have
the-
gone to the veterans one, except I think I was out of town when they did that.
I don't even remember that
They did
it was
They did
announced.
something, I thought I saw
I
some
went to
email
the
from
Alcohol and
Ronnie.
Drug
Oh,
Council.
that one, yeah, that one I couldn't make either.
I think, Larry, the best I could do is I can ask them if, I'll just say that you mentioned it, the planning board mentioned it, and I'll see what
Would
they have
love
to
to
say.
come.
There you go.
Yeah, no, don't make it a priority. I just was curious, because it looks like they've been still working day and night, so I figured they must be getting close.
Yep, so Pat has December, and then Jim January, Lisa February,
I'm Feb.
Mike March, Lorraine April. And then we start back over.
January, okay.
Okay, Mike?
Nothing that I can go over at this point.
Okay.
How secretive. Said how secretive.
I know.
At
I
this
just
point.
can't.
Don't.
Okay, I will entertain a motion to adjourn the meeting at 7:49 PM.
We adjourn?
Motion by Pat,
I'll second.
second by Jim, all in favor,
Aye.
and Lorraine's and I. Awesome, thanks, everybody, thanks, Lorraine, hope you feel better, thanks, Amelia.
Thank you.
Thanks, everybody online.
Bye.
Nice talking with you, Brent.
Thanks, Brad.
You seconded that, right, Jim?
I did.
Okay.